Okay, great leaders. Let us consider compound interest today. Compound interest. Compound interest. Compound interest is simply the addition of interest to the principal sum of a particular loan or deposit. Addition of interest to the principal sum of a loan or deposit is called the compound interest. When interest is added to a principal sum of a loan or deposit, such is known as the compound interest. It is the interest on interest. Compound interest is also considered as the interest on interest, adding interest on another interest. It is the result of reinvesting your interest. It is a result of reinvesting the interest rather than paying it out, so that interest in the next period is then earned on the principal sum. So if you keep on investing your interest, then you'll be having what is known as the compound interest. And today we want to apply that. Remember I said when we treated our principal rates, time, and simple interest, I said that aspect is known as business mathematics. So today we'll be using the formula and also the direct solving method to dealing with this problem. I will start with the direct method. I said compound interest is simply the addition of interest on the principal sum of a loan or a deposit. I said it could also be considered as interest on interest, trying to reinvest your interest. Let's see how we can apply this in some little problem that we have here. You have to find, so you need to be very careful to find out how we deal with this. Look at this problem, compound interest. You have to find the compound interest and amount of 500 naira at 4% interest per annum for 2 years. For 2 years. The idea that you already know in calculating simple interest is applied here. Let us see how we go with it. We are going to find the interest first. We're going to find the first interest. That will be, remember your formula for interest. So this time around will be, since we are dealing with 2 years, we only be dealing with the principal and the interest rate. The year will not be applied in the course of solving this problem. The year will not be applied in the course of solving the problem. I'll be dealing with principal times your interest rate, which is in percentage, all over 100. Principal times rate all over 100. So that with the first, we're going to have the first interest 1. That will be 500 times 4 all over 100. This will cancel this. So our answer there will be, our first interest will be 20 naira. We're going to get the first amount. Amount 1. Remember, it's for 2 years. We're going to get the first amount of the first year. That will be principal plus interest. Don't forget, principal plus interest is principal plus interest. That will give us 500 plus 4 plus 20 plus 20. That will be 520 naira. So our first amount is 520, and our first interest is 20 naira for the first year. It is 2 years they mentioned. So we're going to the second year now. So we're going to the second interest. We're going to second interest. So this time around, your amount, note, in the second year, your amount becomes your principal 2. Your amount becomes your principal 2. Your amount becomes your principal 2. Note that. Your amount becomes your principal 2, while the rate remains the way it is. Your amount becomes your principal 2. Note, in the second year, your amount of year 1 is the principal. Your amount of year 1 is the principal. So we have interest 2 now will be 520 times 4 all over 100. 520 times 4 all over 100. The 0 cancels the 0 out. 2 here is 2. 2 here is 5. So our answer will be 52 times 2 all over 5. That will give us 104 all over 5. And that will be, if you divide, that will be 20.8. 20.8. If you divide, that will be 20.8. Now we're going to add up the numbers right away. We're going to add up the numbers. 20.8 in that manner. So we're going to have the amount 2. Amount 2 will be 520 plus 20.8, and that will give us 540.8, which is approximately 541 naira. So our money is 541 naira. So the amount 2 is 541 naira. So this is how it works. If you're solving your compound interest, you look at the years given. Remember, I said if you're looking for compound interest, you don't attach the year to the formula, but you break out each of the year. If you're dealing with 3 years, for example, assuming this question is for 3 years, what they gave to us is for 3 years, it means we need to find the third interest and the third amount. And in the third interest, our principal will be, our principal for the third year will be 541 naira. It is only in the first interest that you use the original principal given to you from the beginning. Once you're able to get the first interest and get the first amount becomes the second year principal. And if you're able to solve also to get the second amount becomes the principal of the third year. That is how it works. But I said, do not put your year in the course of trying to solve the problem. Don't add your year to it. You see, they gave us 2 years. I did not put year. I did not do PRT. I did P times R alone, all over 100. I did not add year to it. Remember, your interest formula is PRT over 100. But right now I'm looking for interest in the same way, but I did not put year because I am dealing with compound interest. So my final answer for my final amount is 541 naira, and my final interest is 20.8. So the final amount I'm going to get is 541. That is the final result. So you are able to find out the compound interest and also the final amount. So if you want to really find out your compound interest, finally, you recall your original principal was 500. Your original principal was 500. So what is a compound interest? The compound interest will simply be the final amount minus initial amount. Or let me use the word first amount. I don't get confused. The first principal minus initial principal, which is the first amount from our calculation. But let me just stop at the first initial principal. That will help you understand better. That will be Final, that will be 541 minus 500. So our compound interest is 41 naira. Our compound interest is 41 naira. You can see it. The first interest was 20. The second interest was 20.8. If you add the two, you have 40.1. For 40.8, our present, which is 41. So our compound interest is 41 and our amount is 451. So carefully go through this and ensure you get the best out from it. Thank you.